Alright, so at this point, you have requested for a course and it has been approved. So you have this transformative online teaching, which is a course you're enrolled in as a student. You also have the introduction to biology. In my case, this is the course that I applied for and it was approved. So you can access your course using the course overview panel here by clicking on this name, or alternatively you can use the course code. You can click on the course code in the navigation. So your course this is the default layout of the course, and we can see it's arranged in topics: topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. Currently you are on your course dashboard, introduction to biology. Before we were at our dashboard formative numerical. Now we have entered into the course dashboard. In the course dashboard, we have an administration panel, which we shall be using to administer the course as a whole, generally. So we shall go over to edit settings, and these are the course settings. We have the ability to change the name: Introduction to Biology 2020, Sem 1. And we change this to BIO 001 2020 Sem 1. We are locked to this category. Category is sort of like a higher folder. For example, for School of Arts and Social Sciences has it's a category, and it's got a subcategory of Department of Development Studies, which also has another category of Bachelors of Development Studies. The Bachelor of Development Studies is the last category, which has several courses. Our course is visible. If you choose to hide it, then it will not show up to the students. You ideally want it to show up to the students, but in some cases you want it to be hidden, so you can always hide it. The course start date, this is the default that was given, 27th July. You can change this to 30th July, and you can also specify the time. The course will start at 9. This is a 24-hour clock, so it will start at 9 hours. Then you can also, the course end date is disabled. As you can see, it's inactive, but you can enable it and specify an end date. I could choose to say my course is going to be a 1 week's course, 2 weeks course, and I specify the date. In this case, I'll disable this. This is something you can come back to later on when you finish the layout of your course and you specify the end date. The ID number is not necessary. It's usually used for administrative purposes, which a teacher doesn't usually do. So you can add a course summary here. Okay, let me just change my whole course to Introduction to PHP Fundamentals 2020 Sem 1. And I call it PHP, or I call it CSC Sem 1. It's fine. So I have a course summary, which I will put in. This is an editor which which allows you to style your text. You can bold, you can underline, you can add an image, you can add a video, you can do all sorts of text formatting here, add videos, add images, but for now let's just put the text. Then you can add a course image. You pick one from your so this course image is what will show up in our course overview and in the course overview of the students. So for the course format, we can arrange our sections, course sections, into topics, which is currently the default, or we can arrange it into weeks, or it could be just a single activity. The social format is sort of like a forum where you have discussions, topics and discussions, but most of the time you'd want to arrange your course into topics. So we'll go with what is there, the default. So you can choose what happens for default hidden sections. They could either be shown in a collapsed form or they could be hidden entirely from the students. You would like to prepare content but not make it immediately visible to students. So you have these options here. We shall hide it completely from students. For the course layout, you can choose whether all sections appear on one page. That is currently what we have, where we had topics all appearing on one page. Or you could choose where each topic appears, and then to get to the next topic, you have to move to another page and another page. This is usually the better one because it shows a general outline of the whole course. For appearance, these are, if you have more than one language, you can force the language. You can say somebody has to use English. And this is important. Show grade book to students. This is by show grade book to students. By default, we have set such that the students don't see their grade book. When a student, for example, does an assignment, you don't want them to see their mark in some instances immediately. You want to give them their mark at a later time. So if it's yes, then the student, as soon as they finish, they will see what they have gotten. But when it's no, then you are the one who decides when students can see their grade. So the default is no, which is what we want. You may want to change this. Even activity reports are things that sometimes you may want students to see only when you want to see. These question marks in blue, when you click them, they give you more details of the particular field. File uploads. This one shouldn't be so big. Ideally, 20 should be the ideal. If somebody has a file that is bigger than 20, it's best if they upload this to, say, Google Drive and provide a link. Because when heavy files are stored on the server, it gets overwhelmed and becomes filled up quickly, or it becomes generally slower. So let's set this to 20. We should change the site upload limit to 20. Completion tracking. is enabled. Completion tracking are those ticks that appear besides each activity. There's a box which is tickable that appears besides each activity and also besides each topic. So this one is a good thing to enable, such that somebody can see their progress, see how far they've progressed. Groups, these are things that we shall look at towards the end. You can set up groups. You can set your students into groups, and you can decide whether you want separate groups where each group is having their own activities and they do not see what goes on in the other group, or you could have visible groups where you have your class and they are working in groups, but they can see what other groups are doing, but simply cannot. It's read only. They cannot edit. They cannot take part in what they're doing. They can only see what they're doing. So this currently they say no group. We shall look at the groups later on. You can force group mode or not. There are no groups. There are no groups assigned yet. So this group section is something we shall come back to. Role naming. In a course, there are default names for particular roles. Now, like for instance, you're currently a teacher. You could change this to lecturer for a teacher. Then for a non-editing teacher, you could change this to assistant lecturer. So for a student, I think it's best if it's still student. So I think that's it. We shall ignore tags. There are no tags anyway. So we save our course at this point. And now we still have our normal layout. When we go back to our dashboard, we shall see that now we have a new image. And when we click the course, so now we know that we can always change our settings, course settings. So at this point, we need to now arrange the layout. We have our topics, and we certainly don't want topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. We want our topics to be rhyming with what we're teaching. So on our course dashboard, this I made a mistake here. I put an exclamation. I could change that to 1. And save. So now now that we are at our course dashboard, we want to edit these topics. To do that, we have to turn editing on. There's this green button that says turn editing on. Alternatively, under the administration, there is turn editing on. So when we turn editing on, we're now in an editing mode. We see all these pencils and cross arrows. So we could change these topics. So to edit this, we click on the pencil icon, and then we get this text box, and we shall change topic 1 into introducing PHP. So when we're done, you see it says here, escape to cancel, enter to finish. We press enter, the enter button on the keyboard. So for topic 2, installation and development environment, we enter. Data types, data types control structures. So at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually need 5. So we can say add topics, and we need one more topics to make 5. So we have our topic 5, which we shall call functions. So in our course, we're going to have 5 sections. We're going to cover introduction, installation, development, data types, control structures, and functions. Now, in each of these sections, we are going to be adding activities and resources. When you click the screen button, you have a number of activities, and below you have a number of resources.